$235,000 going to the kids. And it almost never stops at 7 years. The down payment help comes next. The first grandchild arrives, and the daycare contributions start. The kids hit their own 30s, and the parents are still the financial backstop. The pattern doesn't end, it evolves. If Diana and her husband had invested that $2,800 a month from age 50 to age 65 at a 7% real return, they would have approximately $875,000 more at retirement. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. The biggest gift you can give your adult children is not paying for their wedding. It's not being a financial burden on them when you're 78 and out of money. Funding their 20s at the cost of your 70s is not generosity. It's a trade, and the kids almost always lose that trade in the end, too. Back to Greg, our 47-year-old from Charlotte. Greg has been quietly assembling something over the last 5 years that he doesn't even think of as a purchase. It's the stack. Country club membership, $18,000 a year in dues, plus another $4,000 in dining minimums and event fees. American Express Platinum Card, $695 annually. Premium gym membership instead of the local one, $2,400 a year. Wine club subscription, $1,800. Bourbon collection that grows by about $2,500 a year. Streaming services, software subscriptions, the premium tier of everything, another $2,400. Season tickets to one professional sports team, about $6,800. The annual guy's golf trip, $4,500. The watch he upgraded to 2 years ago that he's still paying off, about $3,200 a year. None of these are insane. Greg can afford every single one of them individually. That's exactly why they're dangerous. Add them up. Greg is spending roughly $46,300 a year on lifestyle items that he didn't have at 40. Most of them didn't even exist as line items in his life 10 years ago. They accumulated quietly, one yes at a time, and now they're load-bearing parts of his identity. He's the country club guy. He's the platinum card guy. He's the guy with the watch. Run that $46,300 a year as retirement contributions instead from 47 to 65 at a 7% real return, and Greg would have approximately $1.65 million more at retirement. That is not a typo. The stack alone is a 7-figure mistake. And the cruelest part, most men can't even tell you what they spent it on. Ask Greg at 65 where the money went, and he'll struggle to remember the watch, the wine, the club. The purchases were too small individually to leave a memory. Only the absence of retirement money will. Let's add it up. The bigger house, roughly $1.05 million. The car cycle, roughly $395,000. The vacation home, roughly $1.08 million. The boat, roughly $685,000. Funding the kids, roughly $875,000. The lifestyle creep stack, roughly $1.65 million. Now, no single person makes all 6 of these mistakes. If you did, you wouldn't have a retirement account, you'd have a foreclosure. The point isn't that one person loses $5.7 million. The point is that the average man in his 40s makes 2 or 3 of these. And 2 or 3 of these is more than enough to turn a comfortable retirement at 62 into a contract job at 65. Remember the guy from the restaurant at the start of this video. He didn't lose his retirement to bad luck or a market crash. He lost it to 2 or 3 perfectly reasonable purchases in his 40s that compounded against him for 20 years. So what do you actually do? 5 rules. They're simple, they're not easy. Rule 1. Run the 20-year cost on every recurring purchase over $500 a month before you sign anything, not the monthly payment. The 20-year opportunity cost at a 7% real return. If a $500 monthly payment turns into $260,000 over 20 years, you deserve to know that before you swipe. Rule 2. Cap your housing at no more than 25% of gross income, including taxes and insurance, even when the bank approves you for more. The bank's job is to lend. Your job is to retire. Rule 3. Drive cars until they die, then drive the next one until it dies. There is no version of car payment forever that ends well. Rule 4. Treat vacation property and toys like rentals before you treat them like ownership. If you can't justify renting the same experience for what the carrying costs would be, you can't justify owning. Rule 5. Give your adult kids your time, your advice, and emergency help when it's actually an emergency. Stop funding their lifestyle on the credit of your retirement. They will be fine. You might not be. I already know what some of you are typing. Let me address it now. But my house appreciated. Maybe, but appreciation doesn't pay your monthly carrying costs, and you can't eat home equity. Most move-up buyers also move up again later, locking in higher costs at every step. Real estate appreciation rarely beats the S&P over 20-year windows once you factor in taxes, insurance, maintenance, and interest paid. But I can afford it. Affording the payment is not the same as affording the opportunity cost. You can afford 1,000 things at once. You cannot retire on all of them. But I rent the vacation home out. Run the actual numbers, not the brochure numbers. Most second homes generate net rental income well below carrying costs once you account for management fees, repairs, vacancy, and the weeks you block off for yourself. The rental income story is sold by realtors. The math is sold by your tax return. But it's my money? I earned it? Absolutely true. This video is not about whether you have the right to spend your money. You do. This video is about whether the spending you're doing today is the spending the 65-year-old version of you would have signed off on. Most of the time, he wouldn't. You can't take it with you. Correct, but you do have to live in it. And living 30-plus years past retirement on a depleted account is a long time to regret a boat. None of these purchases are evil. None of them are stupid. Each one is a normal, reasonable decision made by a normal, reasonable man at the peak of his earning years. That's exactly why they're dangerous. The thing that quietly takes your retirement away isn't a disaster. It's a series of completely defensible yeses made one at a time over a decade. The good news is that you're watching this, which means you have time. The 47-year-old who watches this and changes two of these patterns retires a millionaire ahead of the 47-year-old who doesn't. Same income, same job, same family, different math. Pick one of the 6 on this list, just one. The one that hit hardest while you were watching. Run the 20-year number on it this week. That's the whole exercise. If this video helped you see something you couldn't see before, hit the like button, subscribe to Wealth Logic for the math nobody else runs, and drop a comment with which of the 6 you're going after first. I read them. I'm Professor Wealth. The numbers don't lie. See you in the next one.